Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hi, I'm Toan. It's like Antoine without the An. Toan. And you may have seen me go live a lot on social media. And a lot of people, since the shelter in place orders have been taking place. Hey, Champagne, uh, former student of mine. Hey, Kevin. A lot of people have been asking me since the shelter in place orders have been mandated here in the San Francisco Bay Area and really all across California is, gosh, how do you seem so authentic and how do you be real, have fun, and then shake off those nerves while going either live or making a quick video. And whether you're a business or you want to do it for fun or you're a teacher, a lot of us have been going live via either IG or Facebook or just making these videos. So I thought about just a couple quick tips to share with you guys because business folks have been asking me. I was at an antique store recently visiting an old friend who was opening up and needed some help with social media and making videos. And so she was asking me, and I just got off the phone with another dear friend of mine, and she was like, well, how do you seem so natural? And like, how do you organize and how do you keep going? So I got a couple quick tips for you. So when you're making, whether it's a video or a live, I always tell people prepare, but do not over prepare. Do not try to memorize a script because it comes off inauthentic. And in all my times, people are always like, in all my years of experience, people have said, well, you're a TV reporter, former TV reporter, co-host. Hey, Gladys, former co-host for a PBS show, public speaker. You work with brands like Huffington Post, and Deepak Chopra and Malika Chopra have an intent.com website that shares a lot of inspiration. Rotary, Coca-Cola, and other nonprofits, both small and large. I've taught them. Hey Gladys, I've taught them the same thing, so I'm going to teach it to you real quick, okay? So the first tip is do not memorize anything and do not over prepare and just be in the flow. And I'll just teach you how to shake off those nerves. Before you go live sometimes or create a video, it's good to just shake off those nerves. Or pretend that you're having a conversation. Like right now, I'm pretending I'm talking to you, Gladys, what's up? And we were just on the phone the last few days talking about making videos and being in the flow. So every single story, whether you're making a video or going live, you have a beginning and middle and an end, right? So the beginning part is tell people what value you're giving them today. What lesson do you want them to learn? What's the hook? So tell them right off the bat. And for this, it's how to be real, how to shake off those nerves when making a video, and how to be in the flow. I'm definitely in the flow right now, all cross-legged and everything. Hey, Jace. Hey, Gladys. Okay, so being real is sipping on my tea because that's what I do all day long. Okay, so prepare but don't over prepare. So the beginning part is the hook. We talked about that. The middle part is the meaty part, like the tips you want to imbue, share with people. That's the value, right? That you want to add. So I just like to have a few bullet points, and right now I've done research, so I have my computer right behind here, so it kind of seems like I'm thinking and looking off, but I'm really looking at that and volleying back and forth to you. So just have those 3 bullet points, 5 bullet points, whatever it is, and talk. You're the subject expert on it, so just talk about those 3 things. So that's the middle part for the 3 to 5 bullet points. And then the end part is take action. Tell people where they can go to see more, whether if it's a business and you want them to follow you on social media or shop online or whatever, that's where your sucker punch is. So that beginning, middle, end. In terms of being real and being in the flow, you guys, it's okay to mess up. We all do it. And I remember back in the day, Ellen DeGeneres, the Ellen Show, I remember watching, and back in journalism school, they always teach you to like, oh, don't stumble or blah, blah, blah. It's okay to stumble and just to be real and just to be you. Here's a ninja tip. You have the power, whether you're on stage or on camera, to calm people by your demeanor or to seem super nervous. Earlier, I was watching Instagram Live with LUK and Eva Chen, who is the Instagram fashion woman, and she was like, I'm just getting really nervous because, they were having feedback issues and, it was a bit choppy, the video and the audio, and she was just real about it, which I really appreciate and love. But then there came a point where they kept talking about it, and it made me a little bit nervous or uneasy. And all of my years of whether it's live presentation skills, doing motivational speaking, or live just talking to the camera, which is two totally different experiences. If you have technical difficulties, just joke about it, move onward. And you know what? I actually learned that back in the day. I used to work at the Olive Garden waiting tables. And when the breadsticks didn't come out and it's been a while or I forgot, I was like, oh, let me check. Or I would just be real about it and say either I forgot, or if it took a long time for the bus boy or bus girl to get it out, I would be like, I don't know, maybe they're just like making the yeast or looking for the yeast back there. But I think there is so much power in the way you can react to certain things. You can freak out and make people even more nervous, or you could just kind of be like, but let me go check on that and kind of joke around about it. You are in control and you have power in terms of making people feel nervous or excited or whatever. Okay, let's see what else is on tap here. So being real and in the flow, it's hard because that's the hardest part to teach in terms of media training, because I've been a media trainer for several years and taught at one of the art schools here, Blogging Your Passion course and many other multimedia courses. And being real is the hardest thing to teach because, being real for you may be quirky, okay, or you may be super nerdy, or you may be super fabulous, but just you do you, boo. Hey, Candace. Candace is a reporter at Channel 2, and we're talking today, Candace, if you guys are just joining us, we're talking about how to be real on camera, how to be authentic, being in the flow, and just you. I love the term you do you, boo, because the more you are you and the more authentic you are, as Eva Chen said of Instagram on her live recently, she said, people crave that authenticity and just you being yourself. So the third thing that somebody had asked me earlier here was, so what about consistency? So this is different for everybody, and it's hard to teach consistency because everybody has their own flow. And a friend of mine recently asked me, and another client was like, well, it seems like you're so in the flow and you have content continuously going out. Well, a couple of ninja tricks. I have Kevin on here, who is an amazing editor and soul brother of mine, and he holds me accountable. He's like, oh, where's your blog? Where's your video? So having an accountability partner is great. If you can hire somebody, that would be awesome, but maybe it's just a friend. Gladys and I are constantly checking in on each other in terms of content or just where we're at, and it's just helpful to know that somebody else there. It's kind of like working out. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I have my CrossFit buddies, and we do our virtual workouts every Tuesday and Thursdays. So even though I might not feel like it that day, I just go on anyway. And I just know that every week I'm committed to at least 3 times I'm pushing out content as a service and just to help people. It also helps with my sanity, because a lot of us creative folks, we have to be creative. For me, it's whether it's judging my pillows, flower arrangements, writing blogs, creating videos, it's super important. So having an accountability partner is great. And some people that are super organized, you might want to have a calendar where you schedule stuff out and then allow for yourself to be in the flow. Eva Chen from Instagram was just saying about how Instagram, a lot of people resonate with stuff that is so totally on the fly. That's totally cool. Maybe your goal is just to have on your content calendar 2 things that you push out and you pre-record, but maybe you do a live on whatever you're chatting about with your friend that's in alignment with your brand or your personality, right? So maybe you go live twice a week and you have 2 things that you schedule. So those things will kind of help you kind of keep pushing out the content. Kevin does that. Peace out. You know that, Kevin. So having a Kevin in your pocket is always great, right, Kevin? And the last thing I wanted to chat about was a lot of my friends who are either like a spiritual brand, or that's just who they are. I say brand, but I really mean personality. They're like, talk about the vibration. And when you talk about vibration, people get sort of weirded out when you talk about vibrational frequencies and spirituality and all that, right? And for me, I've always taught my students, because when I teach at the university, I don't want to, wax spirituality on them or my beliefs. But what I tell them is, for example, in my Blogging Your Passion course, the first question I would ask the students when they're figuring out it's a Blogging Your Passion course, and they have to follow through with 15 weeks of lots of assignments, right? And I say, once you lock that in, you can't switch your topic. And there's billions and billions and billions of different blogs and different videos and things out there in the interwebs. But what keeps people going? It's what inspires you. So think about vibrationally how excited you get. I love interior design. I love stories about people doing good and discovering your power and sharing that with the world. That's a part of my Go Inspire Go brand. I have a Style Your Spirit brand. And a lot of people are like, well, it seems like you have your style, but then you're also heroes, and then you're also media trainer. What are you, right? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just me. So maybe you guys can help me with that. A lot of people are like, well, what's your brand or what's your personality? I'm like, well, I don't know. It's like I'm a little bit of like the Oprah energy. I could go deep and chat with you about spiritual stuff. And then I'm kind of like Ellen and Jimmy Fallon, where it's like I like to crack jokes and have fun. And then I'm a little bit of like Joanna Gaines, where I like to like make pretty tablescapes and teach you how to set the table and how to I would say prune your hedges, but look, I don't got a garden, y'all. So anyway, so just being in the flow and being you and doing you to the max, because guess what? If you're quirky or you're fabulous or you're computer nerdy or techie, that's awesome. Just be you. I always say you do you, boo. So anyway, I hope these tips have helped you out. It's funny because after the shelter in place orders have been put into place, a lot of people actually have been reaching out to me, and a few people were like, hey, can I hire you to kind of guide me into being authentic? I've tried to do videos, like 500 videos, and none of them are good. And I'm like, okay, so I took on a few clients. I have room for a few more people just to, if you want to engage and talk more about how I could help you dig deeper, I'm here to serve you. So you can DM me, hit me up here, or anywhere at Toan Lam TV. So I hope this has helped you be more in the flow and have a little bit more fun, because you know what? I always tell people this, and this is the important part in all this, is before I go live here or before I go live in person on stage doing a keynote or speaking to the camera, people are like, oh, are you nervous? And I always tell people that I don't get nervous because I go on stage knowing that I have something important to teach you. So listen up. And that's what you gotta do too, and you gotta get into that mind frame of, I have something very important to share with you. So it's not about how my hair, well, it kind of is about how your hair looks and how your outfit looks. No, I'm just kidding. But it's about what you have to offer to the world. So I always tell my students, if your work is in your computer or in your phone as a video, if you're not going live like me, and the world can't see it, how can people discover you and discover your magic that is you and learn from you? And I'm gonna let you go by saying one of my favorite quotes. Maya Angelou says, it's one of my favorite quotes by the poet and spiritual teacher Maya Angelou: when you learn, teach; when you get, give. And that's one of the most beautiful things I've seen happen with this whole coronavirus craze, is people are sharing their gifts and their magic and their talents with the world. So I say cheers to you, and you do you, boo. Hit me up in the comments or in the DM. Have a good day. Mwah. Bye.